Hey, we're going to practice setting the blade on one of these. Now, this one's turned off. If you ever need to turn them on, it's a switch right here. And when you need to move this head, you can't just grab it and shove it. There's a way to do it. If you need to move the head, click the offline button, then we're going to hit the arrows and origin. So let's hit the offline button. So we're going to go offline. So now we're going to use the arrows to move it. Okay, and now that we're here, we want this point to be the origin. So we're going to hit the origin button. Now to test the cutting head, what you need to do is press this test button. What it's doing is it's cutting a star shape, and that star shape will let you know if or not the laser or the blade is set to the right depth. You can't see the line that I'm trying to pick at, but you can see that it is not coming up cleanly like it's supposed to. That should be easier to weed than it is. So I'm going to try to clean this up, because if you leave a mess on the vinyl, you end up gumming the machine up and wrecking other cuts. So try to clean up any mistakes or any sticky parts. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this to the blade here. I have to loosen this up in order to grab the blade out. Now the blade is sticking out right there just a little bit. You can see it over my finger, the smallest amount. Well, that blade needs to be sticking out a little further, or we need to just clean it up. So I can push on the back end, try to clean it up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock this collar here. So this is the lock collar, so this keeps it from spinning by itself. Now here is how you advance or take the blade out. So if I turn this clockwise just a little bit, what's happening is that these screws are turning down into the housing, and that blade is now sticking out just a little bit more than it was before. So now I tightened up the lock collar. I'm putting it back in there. I have to retighten that. And I happen to be in a good spot to run another test. So let's make sure we're origin test. Now this time, because I cleaned it up and I lowered the blade a little bit, it definitely cut too far. I'm glad you're seeing what it looks like when it cuts too far. So we're gonna have to take the blade out again and bring it up. So here's the blade. That is sticking out way too far. So I'm not sure what happened. As you do this a bunch, you start being able to see when that blade is sticking out the right amount. So I loosened the lock collar, I turned it back a little bit, so counterclockwise, and now I'm tightening the lock collar without moving that. Put it back in the, tighten the clamp. Okay, once again, we're in a good spot to do a test. So I'm gonna hit origin and test. Sometimes you'll be stuck doing this quite a few times before you get to the right depth. Now this time, it doesn't seem to have enough blade to cut through the material again. I can't get it started. It should come up as one nice piece. So I'll have to do it again. This is the way it goes. There's no shortcut to taking these pieces out. This time the blade was too far in. See, look at how little I'm turning this. Just that much of a turn is probably all that we need. We shall see in just a moment. So I'm gonna do it all over again. Origin, test. When you finally get it to the correct depth, this is what it looks like. You're able to weed that star. You have a perfectly placed star, and the star sits on there just like that. So that took me 3 tries and just some small adjustments on this silver head, but we are ready to cut. Just to prove it, look at that. That is when you get the blade set correctly.